Okay, so I'm going to give a unique take on the scroll-free September. People stepping back from social media. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, if you're on it, I'm not. Snapchat, Spotify. I am on YouTube, and I have been demonetized. So I like the idea of boycotting social media during this time of people being taken off their platforms and their livelihoods being removed. Check out the Patreon page, and I'm trying to generate enough support to continue doing what I'm doing. And when there is a suitable alternative to YouTube, I will look at making some uploads. So YouTube is part of the social media web. It's part of the tech giant monopoly. And so there's a big discussion being had on the national level, and I want to come back today and talk a little bit about that. As the rain comes down, there's been a lot of anticipation for this rain because there's a new fire within proximity of here, within a few miles. So what you need to know, without going on for hours and hours. You know, there's an area regarding the subject of the paranormal and psychic attack, and there's a lot of great books. One was written in 1930, and I have it inside, and the writing is very coherent, and yet there's not a lot of books and literature on that topic in the day and age of social media. The internet, specifically, more specifically, rather, Facebook, and particular websites that play on particular lower emotions, and they've admitted doing this. So what would be like a really good reason for getting off of at least some of the platforms? I'm still on YouTube, but things like Facebook, for different reasons. I think people have figured out that it's really messed up communities and hurt relationships, and that is something that I have to come back and talk about at greater length. But there is manipulation on purpose. They got us on these social media platforms, and in a way we've been turned against each other. And this is where I can kind of talk in code to you, right? But I can't give you the whole picture. YouTube itself, the way that it's run is different than the type of YouTube that it tries to portray itself. Like the Creators for Change YouTube, that would be an example of how they try to portray themselves. So the far right actually sees YouTube in the way that they want to see YouTube, regardless of the fact that some of their own members have a lot of big time support on YouTube that haven't lost their demonetization. You'll see a pattern where things like CRTV will be heavily promoted on both YouTube and Facebook at the same time, which is an opposite narrative, that they're being held back. So on some ways we're being played off against each other. It's almost as if there is a grand wizard of Oz behind the whole thing that's beyond left and right. Zuckerberg, for example, the founder of, the owner of Twitter, watching the interview with him about Mr. AJ, there's something deeper as far as relationship-wise goes, I would say, between Jack Dorsey and Alex Jones. There's actually even a report about Donald Trump meeting with the heads of the tech giants right around the time of the election. And now there's stuff about Google search results and, whether it really directs you in a certain direction or not. And I can tell you that during the time of Obama, was an Obama fan, but the Google ads were always pointing towards conspiracy right websites. Always. It was usually negative press, which is fine. But when Donald Trump came around, it was always Donald Trump the savior. Donald Trump the last great hope, if you will, type of meme. And now it's come out that we have been played off against each other, that bots have manipulated things on the left and the right. So there's a lot of different things that I brought up there. But we have manipulation of politics, public opinion, through the manipulation of the feed. A lot of people, this is what I want to kind of hit the nerve on right now, don't want to talk about their addiction openly to Facebook being how they communicate with others. And it's a sickness our society has. Many of our people are sick. Many of our people in this country, in this global society, are sick. When it comes to a few tech giant monopoly companies being where we put our content, that's not good, and we need to change that now that we see the warning signs. But I can tell you that being, and I've talked about this in other videos on Facebook for over 10 years, it's actually hurt real world relationships. And there is a certain way, a programming of the society where somebody will get on your Facebook page and look for things to hold up against you. And I've come to understand that it's better in general to not even have a Facebook page. And that level of sharing that we're used to, okay, there's a level of mind control going on that's almost difficult to even discuss with you right now. But it's based on the idea that by even going to Facebook and being on the website, it's sending out a particular energy. It's not just the computer, it's the website itself. There's something going on. When it comes to the paranormal, there's ways in which humans can be tracked when they log on and off Facebook, and ways in which, kind of like Eve Lorgen, the love bite, there could be a type of interference on a psychic level between people to where people could be duped into bad relationships and turned away from good relationships. I've seen and felt kind of a presence in private messaging over the years, and it comes with my own work, the things that I talk about, but there's been a lot of effort to isolate me over the years. And so things will actually feel warm. In some cases, dialoguing with someone in a PM over Facebook or a woman, and things could turn really cold really quickly, sometimes over email too, and other private chats. So when people think that after thousands of years of us actually talking face to face, that we can just jump into the matrix and talk over a screen and not have interference and tracking technology and actually we're actually in a petri dish where we are living in a world that is ruled by particular entities. I don't know that even using the Archon word is the most appropriate at this point because it's so misused. I'm now beginning to understand there's a lot of people talking about the Archons that are putting out some quack disinformation. That's why some of them come upon my videos and you're like, what the fuck? This is not, how we were explained what the Archons were via John Lash and, some of the others on the far right version of interpreting what the Archons are. But essentially, we are seeing the effect of the Archons in our world through the illusions of separation, the obsessions on it. People talking about these conflicts that don't need to happen, putting gasoline on the fire, people feeding on that lower vibrational state of consciousness. So never before have the controllers had technology in the hands of so many humans around the planet to where they can actually manufacture an event, actually literally crank the frequencies and affect the brainwaves of people worldwide. And they can, in fact, coordinate it with full moons, their events, just like recently, the video game event. And he could have been someone that just went off too. I've been talking about the solar flares and the geomagnetic storms and the connection in some cases with violence. Even Search for the Truth, a YouTuber that watches this channel, said during the last full moon, people are fighting on his street. And so the thing is, I've never actually approached a topic like this outside for this long. As we have the sunshine and the rain together. But see, the point I'm trying to make is there's been a lot of books written on the topic, but none of them in the day and age of Facebook. So you could even say that I'm pioneering in a way. There are a few people that talk about Facebook from this perspective. Very few people that talk about psychic self-defense, things of that nature, with an upgraded in the day and the age of the internet. So I'll tell you what, there's a reason why really successful people that are creators, whether they be musicians or videographers or talk show hosts or philosophers, they try not to get too absorbed by this AI. And a YouTuber can easily get absorbed by the AI because it's the AI dictating whether you see me or not, whether or not something's monetized or not, and it's AI cashing out the checks. So they can easily reduce things to the point where we're making nothing. And that's unfortunately the AI situation that we're in now. The day and age of the digital shaman philosopher, living off the grid on top using satellite technology. It's kind of like a whole new thing I'm in. Well, I'll tell you what, it does come down to protecting what's here. I've seen so much interference since Facebook. I remember 2008 was the year. Particular people sending me friend requests, and the years and years of experience that I now have under my belt with regards to my energy being harvested through private messaging systems alone, and just feeling that energy leakage, and just these, energy cords connected with all of these different people that are actually not real contacts in real life. And there's something about it after 10 straight years of near mainlining it, short of a brain chip, that somebody goes, this has actually improved my life, but this has actually created some problems. Including when we openly share, are we really sharing with people that are our friends, or are we giving up information about our psychology that can be used against us? How is that more of a serious issue if someone's a public speaker that's speaking against the dark forces? It becomes more of an issue if you're in my shoes. It becomes way more of an issue when you're in my shoes. Right? And you're trying to build relationships and friendships, and you're contending with that dark energy behind the scenes that could be monitoring conversations in real time. And so I think that there's a reason why you're seeing this movement. And not everybody knows why they're trying to step back from their digital addiction. But I'm here to plant some seeds as to some of the real reasons why.